Okay, so regarding things that are passed on through heredity, and I mean anything from like a bad low back to diabetes, heart disease, whatever.
Nothing really is. Expectation is really the current that carries that. Even if people aren't talking about it. You know how, especially when you were a teenager, and you walked into a room and you either felt welcomed, meaning your inner being was in sync with you and you were in sync with your inner being, and so you felt welcomed, or you felt a sort of aversion. You could sort of feel what was going on in there before you got there. Well, you're all communicating on that level, whether you know that you are or not. So if you are surrounded by those who are worried about something or talking about something, it's the vibration that is passed on. It is not the manifestation that's passed on, it's the vibration that's passed on. Now, we've never said that before. So clearly, this is really important. Do you know that a potential vibration for every disease known and not yet known to mankind is available to you? You could get them all, but it's only the active things that affect you. And so the question you might want to ask is, why is it active? And then when you answer it, well, it's the mood. It's my mood indicator that lets me know what my vibrational point of attraction is. So you're not passing on diseases that are manifested, you're passing on vibrational potential for them, and you can match up to that or not, depending on what's going on. And we acknowledge it's not easy to be really upbeat in a really downbeat environment, but it's happening that way.
So let's just say like a bad, painful low back. So the thing that's being passed down, is it crappy vertebra? Is it an attitude that precipitates that?
Well, it's certainly the attitude before it's the other. It can lead to that through posture or through diet or through all kinds of things. Esther had a stiff neck last week and only really bothered her when she was driving because she really couldn't check her mirrors like she wanted to. She could lean into it. Not terrible. It only really bothered her when she tried to lie down. It's like her head wasn't hooked onto her shoulders in the right way or something. And so she fussed over it, and then one morning she thought, I don't know why I'm not just getting Abraham after this, because she's heard us say so many times that you have trillions of cells and that your inner being has a relationship with each and every one of them, and the toe bone's connected to the foot bone, and the foot bone's connected, you know this story. So she sat within intention of just quieting her mind in meditation. And as she did, she likes to play brown noise on her phone. And somebody said, hiss into the room. And so she's listening to it, and then she just relaxed with the intention that she wanted some relief from this. And Esther has felt movement from the very first time that she meditated. If she relaxed, that's how she first, we were spelling the alphabet with her nose, so she was allowing the movement. And so she felt right away, it was like someone took hold of her head and sort of lifted it up so that she was taller, assisted her in a better posture. Well, you know how when your neck is bothering you or something's bothering you, you tend to favor it. And as you tend to favor it, then you do weird things with your muscles. It's not alignment, it's really misalignment. And the misalignment often gets worse, but now she's decided that she's going to leave it all to us. And so right away, we helped her to sit up straighter. You know, earlier when we said to you that your inner being knows where you are in relationship to where you want to be on all subjects. So we know where she wants to be, and we know what her path of least resistance is. Her path, not anything else, her path of least resistance to get there. She's been favoring her neck. She's been not moving. If something hurts, she doesn't move it. And so it was like the paralyzation of that was just sort of like rigor mortis setting in. A little early, but... So as she relaxed into it, we knew that even though she was receiving us, and she does it well, that she was going to have resistance to us turning her head in the direction that was uncomfortable. So we didn't turn her head. We held her head straight and we turned her body, which accomplished the same thing, but she didn't resist it. What we're getting at is your inner being knows what to do and will do it if you will give your inner being a chance. Most everything that happens with your physical body is a action, lifting, posture thing, which your inner being can easily accommodate, easily.
Mm-hmm. One more thing.
My question is, it's sort of like the calibration, but I would like a more immediate response. I've been talking to my...
How long should it take to turn a thought into a thing?
Yes.
It depends on how well established that thought is in your vibrational patterning. There's a vibration. Esther doesn't have a big vocabulary about energy and vibrations and frequencies, so she sort of uses all those words interchangeably, and we're fine with that.
Okay.
So there's a vibration or energy, and if it's focused upon by a focuser long enough, then it becomes a thought. And if that thought is considered a little longer, without contradiction, then it becomes a belief. And if a belief is focused upon often enough, it becomes an expectation. And by the time you have an expectation, that expectation is going to come about. Whether you learned it from your grandmother or whether you watched it on television, it doesn't matter where it came from. Once you really expect something, I knew that was going to happen. I saw that coming. So the key to speeding the process is by getting out ahead of it, by caring about how you feel, by acknowledging that thoughts are powerful and that they are going to turn into manifestations, and then just paying attention to how you feel while you are thinking. A lot of people think that when they're thinking about money and talking about money, that they should be attracting money. But a lot of people are thinking about not having enough money, or they're jealous that that person has too much money, or they're angry about where that money has been, or they're mad at themselves for spending that money. In other words, it's how you feel when you're on the subject that indicates whether you're holding it away from you or whether you're bringing it to you.
And the length of that.
It's not so much the length of it. Let's clarify this for you. The reason that it feels to you like it takes too long to get big things is because it's easy to expect the little things to come, and it's harder for you to expect the big things to come. It's as easy to create a castle as a button. All you have to do is not focus on lack of castle or lack of button, and feel appreciation for castle or feel appreciation for button. That's the fastest way to get to something. But you can't just all of a sudden change your point of view of things. Something that has helped Esther, often we say to her, she'll be focusing on something that is not pleasing to her out in the world or somewhere in her life. And we ask her a simple question. We'll say, Esther, is this your opinion or your intention? Well, usually it's her opinion. An opinion, like an expectation, it's baked in a little bit. It's hard to get past your opinions. That's why if someone really has a disagreement with you, just get away from them. Don't try to convince them that you're right, because you're not ever going to convince them. Detach from it enough and focus on what you want. So let's speak this really clearly. The amount of time that it takes from you to have an idea about something and bring it into your experience can be as soon as 68 seconds. It can be. It doesn't need to be. And here's a sort of hack. Is that used in the right way? Esther says when her leg is bothering her, she leans on her suitcase, and she calls it her rolling crutch. It really works well. Nobody knows. It rolls right along. In other words, it's my hack. She wishes she had two of them sometimes. So here's your hack for this. What most people think is, if I had that, then I would feel better. Once I get that, then I will feel better. And then we say things like, you never get it done, and you can't get it wrong. Well, that's annoying to people. What do you mean I never get it done? I thought I need to get it done so that I can get it. I need to get it done so that I can feel better. And we say, you're not ever going to get it done, because once you attract that, now you stand in a new place to want new things. And once you get that, you stand in a new place to want new things. And so the hack, the trick, the applied perspective that will really, really work for you is, we want what you want to be to enjoy the moment, to feel as good as you can feel right now where you are. Sometimes when Esther's getting on an airplane and knows that she has a long flight and then a layover and then another long flight, she might think, I wish that I didn't have to make this flight, because there are lots of other things that are more fun than sitting on an airplane. But that won't make for an enjoyable flight. The time is going to be the time. How she feels in the time is the only thing that matters. The length of time between your identifying that you want something and its full manifestation is optional. You have more control over that than you want. And the control that you have over it, the control you have over it is how much of that time are you spending in joyful anticipation rather than in discomfort about where you are in relationship to it. Most people slow things way, way, way down. Daddy, are we there yet? Daddy, are we there yet? Daddy, are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. Make yourself happy now, is what Dad wants to say to you. And it's what your inner being wants to say to you too. And so the more moments in time you can find satisfaction where you are, then the shorter time it takes for anything. Esther has a friend, her hairdresser in San Diego. She's known her for years. And Dorothy would say, Esther, I need a boyfriend. Help me find a boyfriend. Help me find a boyfriend. You know people, introduce me to somebody. And Esther would say, Dorothy, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're adorable. You'll find a boyfriend. Next time, Esther, I need a boyfriend. Help me find a boyfriend. And Esther would just laugh and say, that's not how it works. You're going to attract a boyfriend. You got to get over not having a boyfriend before you can get a boyfriend. You're so desperate for a boyfriend. You're so unhappy that you don't have a boyfriend. It's all you ever want to talk about. Can't we talk about something else except the absence of your boyfriend? Esther's playfully. And then one day, Esther sat in the chair and Dorothy said, I met someone. I met someone. Esther thought so much about that because it was 2 weeks from I don't have a boyfriend to I met someone. It had been going on longer than that. There was a turning point. At some point, she did more letting it in than she did keeping it out. That's that tipping point. At what point are you doing more letting it in than you are keeping it out? Well, if you're aware of the way you feel, your moods are giving you that indication. If you're lonely, if you're uncomfortable, if you're complaining, you're extending the time period between the manifestation and where you are. But if you're enjoying this, if you like those swimmers and you like that little dog and you really like this guy bleeding on the floor for you because it gave you a chance to play with him, we're not kidding you. Esther really liked that. That weird? He said, that's gross. Esther said, that's not gross. That's not gross. That's life. And you look healthy. What are you going to do in your moments? Because in every moment that you stand, there are a whole lot of things that you want that haven't happened yet. What are you going to do? Just walk around complaining about all the things that haven't happened yet? Or all the things that you used to have that you don't have anymore? Or are you going to look around in this moment for things that sound good and smell good and taste good and look good and feel good? Are you going to decide to feel good, or are you going to decide that things need to change and then you'll feel good? That's the biggest question of your lifetime. But if you've decided you're going to feel good now, then you're on a fast track to that and that and that and that and that and that and that. You're going to notice it this week. You're going to notice convergence of several things that you really like, all converging in the same moment. You're going to notice that. You're going to get better and better at more things that you really like, all happening at the same time. Your kid can be funny and can have put his socks away. And can be cracking a joke, and can be nice to the cat, and can be appreciating his mother, and can be eating his food, and can be laughing at something on television. There is no ending to the plethora of wonderful things that are right at your fingertips, that are just ready to tip based upon what mood you've been in lately.
Excellent.
Yep. Good enough?
Good enough.
This is a good time for segment of refreshment.